Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Good Torah. Today's an amazing Parsha Mishpatim. And in Mishpatim, we learn a lot of the mitzvos of the actual Mishpatim. Mishpatim are the mitzvahs that have some kind of civil law inside of them. You know, they're don't kill, don't steal, all kinds of laws like that. But they're all commanded from Hashem. They're all mitzvahs. And we're going to find out, today we're going to learn about a mitzvah, a very famous one, an eye for an eye. And what does an eye for an eye actually mean? Let's learn all about the Mishnah. Let's jump in the Parsha Mishpatim. So the pasuk, it says, "V'im aso nihiyeh v'nasata nefesh tachas nefesh." So if there is a fatality, if someone is killed, then you will give a life in place of a life. So then it says, "Ayin tachas ayin," an eye for an eye. "Shein tachas shein," a tooth in place of a tooth. "Yad tachas yad," a hand in place of a hand. "Regel tachas ragel," a foot in place of a foot. So what does it actually mean? So when the Torah was given, when in Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, and when Moshe Rabbeinu brought the Torah down from Shemayim, after his 40 days and 40 nights in heaven, in Shemayim, Moshe brought down the Torah in two parts. So the Torah Shebiksav, the written Torah, so that's actually the Torah I just read, the Pesukim, the verses in the Chumash, the 5 books of Moshe, the 5 books of Moses. That's the written Torah, and we read the Torah scroll in shul, in synagogue, and then we have the Torah Shebal Peh, the oral Torah, the Torah that was transmitted from person to person, and Moshe originally taught it. Moshe received it, he heard it peh, he heard it face to face, from Hashem. So this infinite being gives Moshe the Torah, and he teaches Moshe the Torah, by speaking it to him, and then Moshe comes down and gives us the Sefer Torah, and then gives us the Torah Shebal Peh, the oral Torah, by teaching it to people. And we, for thousands of years, we still do this. We teach it. But during the days of the Roman Empire, unfortunately, the great Rebbeim, the great rabbis, were being killed by the Roman Empire, and it had to be written down in the form of the Mishnah and the Gemara. Not exactly the oral Torah, but it was written down in the Mishnah and Gemara, and so we would remember it, so we wouldn't forget the Torah Shebal Peh. So anyway, so an eye for an eye. So we're going to go into, briefly, Masechta, the 8th parak of Masechta Bava Kama in the Gemara, or the Talmud, as it's known. And what it says is, it explains this mitzvah. So it says, Hachovel b'chaveiro. So if someone injures his friend, if someone creates a wound in his friend, Chayav alav mishu chamisha devarim. Then that person is liable for 5 things. So benezek, for damage, for the actual damage. So if someone injures someone's eye, he pays for the damage. And then the Gemara, and then we can see in the Gemara and the Halakha exactly how you would assess the damage. But the person pays the damage for the injured eye. And then he pays for b'tsa'ar, for pain. And here we see the concept from the Torah, pain and suffering. So then beripoi, then for healing. So then a person has to pay that person's medical expenses. And then besheves, for loss of work. And here we see, workman's comp. And then uvoshes, for humiliation. So we see these 5 things is what really an eye for an eye really means. That a person has to pay these different kinds of damages. And it's interesting because we see these concepts, some of them. I don't think we pay for humiliation, for embarrassment. But definitely pain and suffering, compensation someone for work lost, and for paying someone's medical bills. And the actual damage to the eye, that's a little different. But sometimes I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what exactly is assessed in court. But we definitely see these concepts from the Torah, in modern, civil law. So this is all from the Mishpatim. These are the special mitzvahs that deal with people's interaction with each other. And we see the beauty of the Torah, and we see how the Torah is creating a world of rachamim and chesed, of compassion and kindness. And in these mitzvahs of the Mishpatim, they're teaching us how to get along better with each other. And B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see the coming Mashiach soon, and we'll start to see a world where people, treat each other more with kindness and love and compassion. And then we'll get to we'll get to more where the Nevuah, the prophecy, was talking about of that world, of shalom, of peace, throughout the whole world. But it begins by learning about these mitzvahs in Parsha Mishpatim, learning what an eye for an eye really means, and the rest of the mitzvahs. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.